what makes one certain sound healing in an individual and maybe a very similar sound not so healing. For example, with the gong, you can play the gong to heal, and you can also play the gong to distract, impress, entertain, or whatever. The difference between the sound is energetic, and it comes from the person who creates the sound. The player and the healer are the same. If the player is not the healer, then the sound is not going to be healing. So I think that's the essential thing to think about when you talk about how does sound heal and what are its properties. It comes right down to the person who creates the sound. That's all it's about. All sound is that is created by instruments is an expression of the individual's energy, their aura, their ability to project that energy out to someone else. And so the healing energy of sound is completely dependent upon the healing energy of the practitioner who makes the sound. So that's one way to understand, does this sound have healing properties? First of all, what's the intention and the quality, not the musical quality, but the human quality of the person who is creating the sound for you. And that's why for sound to be healing, it has to really be played by someone who has the healing intention or the capacity to hold energy within themselves to give and to exchange that energy with someone else through sound. So it's really an interesting thing because sometimes we approach healing as a methodology. It's like a diagnosis. We determine what methods we should use to correct something like, I have a difficult liver, for example. My liver is really hurting me. What can I do for my liver? Well, we focus just on the liver. We think about, okay, here's an herb for the liver. Here's a medicine for the liver. Could there be a sound for the liver? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But I do know there's a sound. It heals the liver because it heals the person who has the liver, right? So sometimes with our approach to healing, especially in Western informed approach to healing, we approach it in some ways where it's very fragmented. The body is looked at in components, even the mind. I feel depressed. I feel anxious. We give definitions to our condition that limit in some ways the treatment that can be given. Because once you define a condition that needs this particular treatment, then you automatically let go of a holistic approach that could heal the whole organism. So as working with sound as healing, we don't want to fall into the trap that somehow we are also just using another thing like a healer would use, like say a medicine to give someone based on a certain physical condition or a mental diagnosis. Because if you're doing that, you're not really fully appreciating the enormity of what sound can do. It's not a targeted correction. It has to be an overall process of healing the complete individual.